The cassava definitely got hit in this freeze, but I'm not too worried about it because it'll come back from the root. But it definitely got really sad. And the butternut squash vine died back, and it revealed all of the fruits. Not, I mean, a whole ton, but there's unripe ones, little ones, green ones, barely there ones, and but yeah, it all died back as expected. Just the scenes of winter. Morning. It is about 49 degrees this Wednesday morning, the 28th of December. And I figured I would go ahead and just show you how the tomatoes and everything did. The tarp off, and our tarping and heating system worked beautifully for these tomatoes. They weren't touched at all in the slightest. They're beautiful. Our blooms are still good, which is exciting, and they still look good all down the row. Our potatoes did great as well. See these tomatoes? I probably need to trellis them or tie them off a little bit further up. These are doing quite well. So that's great. Still got some blight or whatever on some of the leaves, but we're working through it. I believe all of the, well, these spinach did all right too. The ones that actually grew from my first seeding. I don't see any, oh, I do see some seeds coming up. Some spinach seedlings coming up there. Wonderful. It looks great. Hopefully we'll have a bed full of spinach. And these collards are doing fine, just fine. They were not covered, and they did all right. I can't say the same though for the cauliflower. It really got it. It may pull through and survive. Looks like that baby died. But this one, the seedling is still popping up. I've never really grown cauliflower before, so this is new for me. This one looks pretty good. No issue there. I don't know how much germination we're gonna finally get. I don't think that's a seedling. The kale did fine. It did get hit a little bit on the leaves, on the top leaves. But for the most part, I think it survived all right considering those low temperatures. Obviously, the strawberries are gonna make it. They were made for this weather. We've got a beautiful one here. Might let that go a little bit more. These things are huge. Look at all of them coming in. It's beautiful. Let those keep coming in. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's check out this cabbage. Leaf got hit, but the inside seems to be just fine. Yeah, the outer leaves. The smaller ones seem to be all right. I don't know, it kind of just hit in pockets, so I'm not sure what the difference, like, say, between that one and that one is. Anybody's guess, maybe? And these are generally okay. Got little ones coming in. Pretty cool. Onions look great. All of the weeds basically froze back, died back. Now I can see more of the onions. I just need to get in here with the stirrup hoe and clean it out. I found the marker on the third variety or the fourth variety. It's Texas Early White. So I've got about a few or several of about 4 variety, and they're doing really nicely. The cold didn't bother them at all, and they're standing up just beautifully. Hopefully we'll get some really good bulbing action. I need to make sure that I feed them nitrogen at the peak moments when they're filling in the bulb, especially. Looks like my lettuces are sprouting, finally. Wonderful. Hopefully the whole row will. I don't see any in this row per se. But I'll just give it more time. And then over here with the pak choi, it survived, but it definitely did get some damage on them. I'm glad I harvested the ones that I did when I did, but they're not ruined. They're still beautiful. Potatoes are great. They have no sign of issue as far as I can tell. Let me see if the flowers are still on them. Yeah, they are. They actually opened up more. Aren't they pretty? Beautiful. We'll know for future reference that we don't really have to cover potatoes. They're just fine. Pretty hardy. Into my greenhouse here, I had started some broccoli and some more pak choi, and we've got a pretty good germination rate. I don't know which side is which because they're very similar, but I let them get, well, that one's not super dry, but I let them get drier than I really intended them to get, so I've got to take them down to the pond and dip them, make sure they're not getting hydrophobic. I am going to start digging this turmeric, and as you can see, the freeze killed my Tindora back, which is fine because there are plenty of seeds in the bed from all of the fruit. In fact, there's some fruit down here that is still hanging, but I'm sure it's really soft. There's some back there. So I am going to work on cleaning up this bed today. This here got fried pretty good too, but I'm thinking that it'll come back. It's not totally gone. There's some green down there. I did not worry about cutting any or covering any of this stuff because I knew that I thought that it was probably an annual, and if not, it would reseed itself and come back. My African basil, as I suspected, definitely got frozen and killed back. I don't know. There's still some green down here on it, so I may cut it back, or I'll leave it like this until I know that the freezes are done for the year. Again, this one was an early freeze, so this might, wait, no, that's Biden's down there, that's the green, so that's a weed. And of course no bees are up here anymore. I'm hoping it'll come back, but we'll see. Oh yeah, there is a bee trying to get something out of it, but unfortunately it'll be disappointed. Everything else generally seems to be okay. My garlic vine did fine because I had it covered. I'm so thankful, because last year I just had a tarp on it, no blanket, and the tarp was against it, and it really got the leaves turned brown. It just was very poorly affected. I did not want it to die back this year because it's doing so well, and I wanted to go ahead and grow up and over this trellis to provide a little bit of shade for the camellia. And it's been slow, but the camellia is doing better. I have a little bit too much calcium in this soil, so I need to do something about it, specifically for the camellia. But it's slowly doing okay. Corey put this over a volunteer, oh, it did really well. A volunteer Everglades tomato. And I forgot to uncover it. It got a little bit of damage, but for the most part, it seems to be perfectly okay, thankfully. And this got a little damage here. This is, I'll have to look at the sign because I don't remember. Oh, the weather washed it off. It's some kind of spinach variation. I can't remember what it is, but again, it was a gift from a friend. So it looks like it'll come back. I'll have to, if we have another freeze, I'll have to get that covered. And I cannot remember what this is. It might be thyme. I don't know, it's definitely a culinary herb. And this over here, I can never remember this either. It might be rosemary. I think it's rosemary. It did perfectly fine. No issue there. And so, yeah, I'm gonna get back over here and start cleaning this up and digging up and seeing how much turmeric I actually get. Alright, so this is really pretty turmeric, and no scruffy. Dog is bumping the camera stand. Nice and orange, really pretty. The amount that I've dug here is way more than we'll use. I'm gonna have to learn how to cook with it fresh, I think, because there's so much turmeric here that I'm not going to be able to use it really. So I may leave most of it in the ground and just cut off the tops, and that way it'll grow back next year. That may be exactly what I do. So I'm just thankful for the abundance of it. Okay, here is the harvest. I got several nice sized tans, nice sized pieces, beautiful, awesome. Got plenty more on the root ball. Beautiful. This seems to be darker orange than the first set I dug earlier. It's just absolutely beautiful. So healthy looking. See, now this plant did not get fried, while the same plant over here in the turmeric bed did get fried. I don't understand that. This is the same plant as that green one over here. This one. And it did not get fried over here. I wonder if it's because the other one is placed a little higher up on the hill, maybe? I don't know. Like, lemongrass did fine. It's doing beautifully. But all my other little spinaches got hit. They're not dead by any means, but they definitely got hit. And this beautiful, what's ending up to be a ground cover, it is an herb. I've lost the marker, don't know what it is. It's beautiful. It has some purple on new growth, purple stems kinda. Some of it got a little bit hit. If you know what it is, please tell me what it is so I can research and see how to use it. This blue my mind flower. It got hit a little bit, but it's surviving. It's doing okay, spreading out. This crepe myrtle here, though, has a lot of sooty mold on it and has had for a little bit. It's not as sick as it was. Maybe the freeze helped take it off, but it just rubs right off, and I don't want it to suffocate the plant, but I don't know what it causes it, so I've got to figure that out too. I don't think any of my other crepe myrtles has the sooty mold issue. I've definitely got to do some weeding in here. I may wait a little bit longer until I know that there's no more freezes, just so that the overgrowth will protect whatever may be under, and kind of go from there. Oh, it looks like my maybe basil. No, I'm not basil. What is this? Italian parsley is doing well. I thought that died a long time ago. Yeah, so we will see. Got my cactus. It has definitely exploded and ballooned up. Did I say ballooned? That's funny. Ballooned up. Looks like it got hit a little bit by the freeze, but everything else looks fine. I had to put a stake in here to keep it from falling over. It may not need it anymore, but I'll just leave it. And this Pinta got a little bit topped by the freeze, but the plant is fine. That about sums it up for the freeze follow-up. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. It was a pleasure. I hope you have a beautiful day. God bless.